Good morning, students. In this video lesson, we will discuss about Biot and Savart law and its application. As in electrostatics, Coulomb's law may be used to find out the electric field at a point due to charge distribution. In a similar fashion, Biot and Savart law is used to find out the magnetic field at a point due to any arbitrary shaped current carrying conductor. Now let us start Biot and Savart law. Here AB is any arbitrary shaped current carrying conductor and I is the current flowing in the conductor in a direction from A to B. This entire conductor may be supposed to be divided into large number of elementary elements. One such element we are showing here in the figure L M. The length of this elementary element is dl. The product of current and length of the elementary element, that is I and dl, together is known as current element and it is treated as a vector quantity. Its direction is in the direction of current flowing in the conductor. P is the point where we have to find out the magnetic field due to this arbitrary shaped current carrying conductor. Its distance is r from the elementary element and this is your current element. Theta is the angle between the current element and the position vector r. According to Biot-Savart law, the magnetic field at a point P due to elementary current element Lm is given as dB is equal to mu naught by 4 pi dB is equal to mu naught by 4 pi IDL cross R by R cube. So this expression gives us the magnetic field at point P due to arbitrary element Lm, elementary element Lm of the current carrying conductor. dB is equal to mu naught by 4 pi IDL cross R by R cube. When we write magnitude only, then we can write it as mu naught by 4 pi IDL sine theta by R square. 1 R gets cancelled. Now, what is the direction of magnetic field at point P? Direction is determined by using cross product rule. Rotate a right-handed screw in the direction from IDL to R. The direction in which it will go will be the direction of magnetic field at the point. So here when we rotate a right-handed screw from IDL to R, the direction is clockwise, so it will go inside. So magnetic field at point P is directed perpendicular to the plane of the paper and pointing downward. Now to determine the magnetic field at point P due to entire conductor AB or XY, dB is to be integrated over the entire length of the conductor. So magnetic field at P due to entire conductor is obtained by integrating dB over the entire length. So in this way, Biot and Savart law is used to find out the magnetic field at a point due to any arbitrary shaped current carrying conductor. Now in the application of Biot-Savart law, we have to find out the magnetic field at the center of a circular current carrying coil. This is one application which is in our syllabus, and another is magnetic field at a point on the axis of a circular current carrying conductor. These two applications are there in our syllabus, but we will also learn magnetic field at a point due to infinitely long straight current carrying conductor, because it has many applications in numericals. So we must have the knowledge of this also. So let us start the first application, magnetic field. We have to find out the magnetic field at the center of a circular current carrying coil. Now our first step is to find out the magnetic field at the center due to elementary element of this entire circular conductor. So you can see Lm is the elementary element and R is the position vector of the point where we have to find out the magnetic field. So angle between the two vectors, that is current element and position vector, is 90 degree. So using Biot-Savart law, magnetic field at point O due to elementary element Lm is given as mu naught by 4 pi I dl sine, here theta is 90 degrees, sine 90 by r square. So dB is mu naught I dl by 4 pi r square. Now when we rotate a right-handed screw from ideal to R, it is anti-clockwise, so it will come up. So perpendicular to the plane pointing outward is the direction of dB. Now to find out the magnetic field at point O due to entire circular current carrying conductor, this dB is to be integrated over the entire length of the conductor. So do it. I mu naught I 4 pi r square, all are constant, so we have taken it outside integration. The symbol of integration with a circle is the integration over closed path. Now what is to be integrated is integration over closed path of dl. You know, integration is a process of summation. So if we go on adding the lengths of all the elementary elements of the circular current carrying conductor, what we get? We get the circumference, that is length of the circular conductor. So it will be 2 pi, integration of dl over closed path will be equal to 2 pi r, and finally we get b is equal to mu naught I by 2r. And direction of this magnetic field at the center is perpendicular to the plane of the circular conductor and pointing outward. Now let us come to the second application. Magnetic field at a point on the axis of a circular coil. Let me explain the situation. This is circular current carrying conductor. It is carrying current in anti-clockwise direction. The plane of the circular conductor is perpendicular to the plane of the paper, and this is the center. From the center, O, P is the point at a distance x, where we have to find out the magnetic field, I, the current flowing in the circular coil. So entire conductor may be supposed to be divided into large number of elementary elements. We have to consider one elementary element and write the magnetic field at the required point due to this elementary element. Thereafter, we have to integrate it over the entire length of the conductor. So suppose this is the elementary element Lm of length dl. So distance, this will be the position vector r, and A is the radius of the circular coil. Now here, as the plane of the circular coil is perpendicular to the plane of the paper and current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction, so the direction of IDL is perpendicular to the plane of the paper, and it is outward. So angle between IDL and R will be 90 degree. And if you rotate a right-handed screw from IDL to R, it will be clockwise, so it will go inside. So direction of DB will be somewhat here. So if this angle is theta, then this angle becomes theta. So resolving dV into its rectangular component, dB cos theta, and here it will be dB sin theta. This, what I have explained, is clearly written here. You can see. Now magnetic field at point P due to elementary element Lm is given as mu naught by 4 pi IDL sin 90 degree. As I explained, angle between IDL and R is 90 degree. So theta is 90 degree, and when we find the direction, it will be along PQ using cross product rule. Now resolving dB into its rectangular components, we get dB sin theta in the direction of axis. So we are calling it as a parallel component. Parallel component of magnetic field dB sin theta, and perpendicular component of magnetic field is dB cos theta. Now let us find out the magnetic field at point P due to diametrically opposite current element Rs. Everything remains the same. The only thing is that here direction will change. So using cross product rule, you can find out the direction. It will come as shown in the figure. Resolving dB dash into its parallel and perpendicular components, dB dash sin theta will be the parallel component and dB cos theta will be the perpendicular component. So when we consider the contribution of these two diametrically opposite current elements at point P, in magnetic field, we find that their perpendicular components are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. Hence, they will cancel out. dB cos theta, dB dash cos theta, and the parallel components are in the same direction, so they get added. So what is true for this pair of diametrically opposite current elements? The same will be true for all other diametrically opposite current elements. So the perpendicular components, due to entire elementary elements, gets cancelled and parallel component gets added. So to find out the magnetic field at point P due to circular current carrying conductor, what we have to do? We have to add all the parallel components, that is dB sine theta is to be integrated over the entire closed path, that is length of the conductor. So B will be given as integration over closed path of dB sine theta. Now put the value of dB and sine theta and integration of dl. Here just I had explained in the previous application, integration of dl. Integration is a process of summation. So integration of dl over closed path, meaning adding the length of all the elementary elements. So if we add the length of all the elementary element of the conductor, we get the entire length of the conductor, which is equal to circumference, and circumference is 2 pi r. But here we have taken a as a symbol of radius, so we will write 2 pi a. And r is this angle is 90 degrees, so r is equal to root under x square plus a square. So substituting these values, we will get b is equal to mu naught I a square divided by 2 x square plus a square in bracket power raised to the power 3 by 2, and it is directed along the axis of the circular coil pointing away from the coil. Now if the point which is present on the axis of the coil coincides with the center of the circular coil, that is, you can see here in the diagram, this point, if it reaches here, then the value of x is 0. That is, when point is present on the center of the circular coil, this x will be 0. Now put this value in the expression, you will get b is equal to mu naught I by 2a. Mu naught I by 2a, which is the same what we have just derived in the earlier application. So these two are present in our syllabus, and the third one is expected that we should know because we will use it very frequently. Magnetic field at a point due to infinitely long straight current carrying conductor. In a similar fashion, we have to write the magnetic field at a point due to elementary element. So the Lm is the straight current carrying conductor, and we have considered an elementary element here. Its length is dl and it is at a distance L from the center of the straight conductor. and P is the point where we have to find out the magnetic field. So R is the position vector. So angle between ideal and R, here it is theta, and let the other angle, this one is phi, and this is 90 degrees, so theta plus phi is 90 degree. So using Biot and Sebert law, dB is equal to mu naught by 4 pi ideal sine theta by r square, because DL angle between ideal and theta, ideal and r is theta. Now in this expression, you will find that more than one variables are present. Here dl is a variable quantity, theta. When this elementary element shifts along the length of the conductor, the value of theta will change, the value of phi will also change. So there are three variables. So we have to express it in terms of a single variable, then only we can integrate it over the length of the conductor. So theta plus phi is 90 degree. So from here theta is equal to 90 minus phi, and sine theta is equal to sine 90 minus phi. So sine theta is equal to cos phi. Tan phi is equal to L by A. So L is equal to A tan phi. DL is equal to A sec square phi d phi. And cos phi is equal to A by R. So R is equal to A sec phi. Substitute all these three, 1, 2 and 3 in the expression of dB. We will get dB as mu naught I by 4 pi A cos phi d phi. Now there is only one variable and its direction. If you rotate a right-handed screw from ideal to R, it is clockwise, so it will go down perpendicular to the plane of the paper, pointing downward. Now integrate this dB over the length of the conductor to get the magnetic field at point P. To get the magnetic field at point P, to get the magnetic field at point P due to the conductor. Now here you can see, if it is of finite length, then angle subtended by the ends at P, we have used angle phi 1 for the lower section and phi 2 for the upper section. So it is to be integrated from minus phi 1 to plus phi 2. So after integration and substitution of the limit, we will get B is equal to mu naught I by 4 pi A sine phi 1 plus sine phi 2. You know the integration very well. Now, if the conductor is of infinite length, then what will happen? The angle value of phi 1 and phi 2 becomes 90 degree. So B is equal to mu naught I by 4 pi A sin 90 plus sin 90. Sin 90 is 1, 1 plus 1, 2. So finally we will get B is equal to mu naught I by 2 pi A. That's all about Biot and Savart law. Thank you for watching.